Right, I'd like to welcome everybody to Major Music TV. It's your boy D Dot coming at y'all again with another video. Hope everybody's doing real good right now. I know a lot of people are starting to get back to their jobs and just to regular life from this pandemic. And I know some people that got hit by this and have lost family members, and my condolences out to you. And I also know some people that have had family members that have had COVID-19 and got better from it, so that's a blessing as well. Just coming at y'all this week with another video behind the beat. Just coming at y'all this week with another video for the making of my new series, in which I go over beats that I made not only for my projects but also projects that I've done for people. This week we're actually going to be talking about the song Coastin, which I put a video out for last month from my MPH album. If you hadn't got a chance to go get the album yet, it's available on all streaming services: Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, Amazon Music. Wherever you get your music at, you'll be able to find the album. That's MPH. Coastin. So Coastin actually comes from a sample pack that I've actually gotten off of loopmasters.com, the Record Store Volume 2. That is kind of like a lo-fi-ish boom bap sound pack per se. I've heard those samples on a lot of other major artists' records as well, so it's a pretty popular sample pack. You know how sometimes you may be, you might be looking for something yourself and you come across samples that you haven't even used that you have, but maybe you might go on somebody's like Instagram or their Facebook or their Twitter or something, and you may hear that beat, or you may pick up one of your favorite artists' album and you might hear, hey, I heard that loop out of this kit. Something that I like. If you listen to a lot of my music, for example, most people will say it kind of has that boom bap-ish sound to it. I still have a little bit of down south with it as well. Also, not only that, there's a break beat that I actually chopped up for the drums as well. I'm gonna show you guys that in just a moment. If this is your first time to my channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you enjoy what I go over in this video, please hit the like button as well. Those things help me greatly. One thing that I am open to is, if you look at any of my videos on YouTube or Instagram, if you're watching this on Instagram as well, let me know if there's any questions on things that I use, or maybe something that I do in the video, so I could possibly create more content, because you may not be the only one out there with a question. And if I don't know the answer, I'll do my best to find out for you and create a video around that. I definitely want to connect more with a lot of people that's been on this channel as of late. Alright, so we're on loopmasters.com, and I'm actually on the page for the record store. This is the, it's not this particular edition of the record store. It's actually part 2 of this loop kit. But again, as you see here, it says lo-fi and hip-hop. Does have those type of vibes. As I said earlier, I kind of like that more boom bap-ish vibe. Back when I was more of a fan rather than actually creating music. In my teenage years, I liked a lot of like Mos Def, for example. I liked a lot of like Big L, that old school New York hip hop, even though I'm from Louisiana originally. It was just something about those vibes that really grabbed me. And not to say I was not into our Louisiana hip hop, because I definitely was, and a lot of those artists in the 90s. But I came across the record store right before the new year. I think around after the holidays, like between Christmas and New Year's. Loopmaster website was actually having a sale on pretty much everything on the website. And every year around that time, like pretty much from, if you've been doing music for years, you know that around Black Friday up until maybe like the first of the year, there's a ton of like music production sales on stuff like this. You may see something like for Native Instruments from Akai, various music production companies. I was finishing up the MPH album around this time, and I was actually stuck. I had Beat Block and Hey, pretty much, because I did this song, I did Coasting, and I did On Time. Actually, two of the songs which the melodies come from this loop kit right here. I personally, it's one of those things, you know, there's a big debate right now about should you use loops or should you not use loops, or should you sample or should you not sample. And I, for one, personally never thought that should have been an issue in terms of creativity, because I always feel that you should use what's available to you. In fact, getting over like beat block, I like to buy sound packs or expansions, or maybe even I'll listen to something at home and find something to sample. So, you know, I don't ever sleep on sites like Loop Masters, Sounds, or Splice to help me spark my creativity. Now, I don't have Splice right now. I may eventually look into Splice, but this is one of my go-tos right here at Loop Masters. Alright, so I'm gonna go through some of these real quick. So there you can kind of get an idea what kind of vibes this sound pack has in it. Might start making something right here just going through these. So what we're here for, I'm gonna go ahead now and play this loop. So yeah, this is the loop for Coastin. Originally this loop was 125 BPM. So now what I'm going to do now is actually go into the sample area. And there you can see the tone is different, so now if I go back, and I'm going to go back to this page. Go ahead, play the original again. So like we go back here and go back here. Now you can actually find these in Sounds if you wanted, for example, because I get asked sometimes, how did you get that more authentic drummer vibe in your music? Because that actually wasn't the first song that I've done that on. I've done that on a couple of songs in the past, because they have a variety of loops in here with, you know, just different vibes as far as drum cadences and I mean, it ranges anywhere from, I want to say, you have loops starting out from like 60 BPM all the way maybe up to like 133. So they have a lot of variety in there, whether you make trap, boom, bap, or what have you. Now this kit, funny thing is, I've actually had this kit for at least 3, maybe 4 years, if not longer. Around Black Friday, the Loop Love had a sale, and you know, I'm a guy that when I get beat block, I like to come on sites like this. If you make beats, you probably get a ton of emails from companies that are, you know, having sales, or you probably sell out. You probably yourself you know, you may send out an email about new beats that you upload on your website, or if you're having a sale, things like that. Companies like this, they do the same thing on their end, and that's no matter, you know, if you're using hardware, you're using software, you're using loops. That's one of the things I like, no pun intended, about sounds.com is there's a wide variety of different styles. I mean, everything from trap, west coast, boom bap, down south. Even if you don't produce like any of those genres, you produce techno, you produce dance, you produce house, they're gonna have something for everybody right here. Also, we have all of our different loops chopped up. Now, there is going to be different variations of this inside of the song as a whole. Like there's breaks, there's parts that don't have the hats playing as loud, and then you're gonna have more busier parts like during the hook where the hats and the cymbals you can hear in the loop. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play this loop real quick so you can kind of see how things came together. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And you know, as I said for this one, if you notice this loop here, nothing's tuned. It's all gonna be just even. Chopped it up in 4 pieces, and then if I go back to our melody, that one's chopped up in 12 pieces. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. I just kind of wanted to take you behind my creative process for the song Coastin. Sometimes I like to personally go to websites like sounds.com, or maybe pick up an expansion from Native Instruments, as well as like Akai, for example. Whenever I have beat block, don't be afraid to use those other avenues to be creative. And then, you know, even with that, I know what a lot of other producers are doing. They're starting to create their own loop packs and sound kits and selling them on their website. I do a little bit of that as well. I'm probably 50-50 as far as being a sample-based producer versus a producer that can just compose everything from the ground up. I just hate the whole logic or controversy that, you know, using loops is cheating or sampling is cheating. For example, I take my iPad a lot of times when I go places, even like to work, for example. I may only have like 15 minutes, or I may only have like an hour to work on music. So I have to get right to it. And that's just really trying to be productive, because I make it a personal goal to myself to, maybe not every week, but at least possibly every other week or so. I haven't done it lately, but I try to update my website off with new beats, as well as me personally also being an artist working on new projects. There may be something that I make that I want to use for a personal project, whether it's, you know, a full-blown project or beat tape. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this from IG, go ahead, hit me with a follow, and I hit you with the follow back. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you'd like me to go over in the near future. I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that's been showing continuous support to your boy on a regular basis, and I'm going to continue to bring you guys these videos every week. And until next time, keep on rocking.